Today I'm going to go over the video version of the article that's right here that you're reading right now, probably on bodybuilding.com. It is the 4 things that your feet, looking at your feet, can tell you about your squat form. Are you compensating? What are the signs you can see it, and how do we correct it? Here we go. We're going to go into the video right now. Okay, so before we actually start into how this affects your squat, I'm going to show you the actual foot corrections or mishaps that we're going to find. So let's go over here into the weight room and check it out, okay? So the first thing to realize is that, let's go down and check out the foot here. I'm going to show you that the things we're going to look for is, number 1, if I face up on you right here, I'm going to open up this way. Actually, let's not start with that because actually we're going to go in order here. Number 1 is if your heels lift up, then you're shifting your weight to your toes, and I'll show you in a second what that correlates to. Next is if your toes come up, or especially the balls of your foot, you're keeping your weight back a little too far. Next is if your outer part lifts up, and you're going to see that the knee actually caves, which is a lot of times what we want to correct, what a lot of people really think of when they squat. And this one is a gross overcorrection. Notice that the arch is raising and this portion of the foot actually raises up. Now, what I like to think of first, and the correction that actually guides a lot of what I do with people, is I think of 1, 2, 3 portions of the foot, or we say tripoding the foot, okay? These, as well as these, need to be drilled down the entire time. Now, if we run into a condition where people leaning back like that, they lose position on it. Now, one of the quick corrections you can use is a band feedback. So I'm going to pull this band out, and you can use this on any point. Let's just say I like to overcorrect on the foot, which goes like this. I'm going to lose the contact point, okay? Let's just say I like to sit back on my heels a little too much. So by the way, spread the toes, drill them into the floor. So 1, 2, 3, spread the toes, drill them into the floor like you're trying to spread the floor, okay? So if I sit too far back, right? And lastly, this is one of the most common ones probably. If I like to lean too far forward, you're going to lose it. So you guys kind of get the point. Lastly is if you have knee cave, this outer part here, spread the toes, drill them in, right? So this is something you can use when you squat, but you probably won't want to bother with it too much when you have weight on you. Now let's pan up and see how the rest of the body reacts to these positional changes of the feet. Okay, so first thing is sliding weight forward. And I should probably grab this. Okay, so I'm going to pull these things up, hike them up real high so you can see. So first thing is, I'm going to set my weight back into my heels right now and try to tripod again. 1, 2, 3, drill them in, spread the toes. Some people call it rooting, drive them into the floor. Okay, I'm going to set my weight back just like this. Now I'm going to slide my weight forward and look where my knees slide based upon where they started from. Okay, so when I lift my heels up, my knees will slide forward, which then changes where the weight stack is on you as well. So back up 1 second for me. Let's just say we have this on our back here. Notice where the weight is now because my heels lifted up. Really, really hard on the back. You want it over your center. You want it over this area roughly. Now, if we're sitting too far back, you might think, hey, this is a pretty good squat right here, right? But there's a thought now this is happening, which we actually wrote an article on bodybuilding.com. That is about the extension compression stabilization system by Dr. Richard Olm. There's an entire podcast, an entire article coming out on it. So we talk about how the tonic system, one group of muscles versus another group of muscles, is overworking, and this will end up with long-term issues in regards to pathological movement rather than just, we don't want just short-term improvements of strength and so on. Granted, this will make you stronger and the ability to move weight will be much higher, but the thought is that it's just incomplete in regards to stabilization and co-contraction of the abdominal area. I know, confusing, don't worry, there's a whole other article on it. Let's get back to the feet. Okay, next, we'll go from this position here and we can ditch this, all right? Let's just say now we have this coming down, the outer ones raise up, okay? Let's look at my knees caving, all right? Now this is not good squat form. I think we can all agree upon that, so I won't spend too much time on it, but if I drill those feet in, 1, 2, 3, spread the toes, drill them into the floor, now I'm going to keep these things stacked over here. Lastly, watch the arches here. I'm going to go up with them. This is what we call pushing the knees out. okay? Make sure you can see the knees in that picture there. Good. So I'm pushing the knees out, and now I'm over this way. This isn't ideal either, but this often happens when people grossly overcorrect for this. Granted, I think I would rather have this over this, but this is not cool either, okay? This is usually what you want squatting is you want the knee over here, okay? I'll use the stick again. I know I'm probably killing this thing to death, but I want you guys to understand we don't want it out here either, okay? Come on, back up. Now, these are the ways, these are the 4 ways that you can actually address washing the feet and correct your squat form. So I highly suggest you take videos, have your friend take videos, because I know you're going to post them on Instagram anyways, okay? So I suggested the hashtag foot faults, all right? Get that thing rolling because you're going to see this all over the place. Next, if this is too complicated, I am going to make a checklist for you. So this video is embedded onto the bodybuilding.com page with the correlated article. However, in the link description, actually we'll see if bodybuilding can put it on there too, there's going to be a link to a checklist where you can get these 4 things, okay? Make it easy on you guys. I don't want you to forget. I want you to succeed in your squatting form. Now, whatever article you want to hear about next, whatever topic you want, feel free to let me know. Thanks bodybuilding.com for making this possible. I'll speak to you guys soon.